What's up, guys? I'm Alex.
I'm Jason. We're the Table Monkeys, and we are here with a video to talk about the setup, particularly loading in the setup and kind of how to trick your opponent to get them to do what you want. We're also going to focus this video around our triad of pressures, which if you haven't heard about that, we'll put a video up here for you to go to check out, and we'll just give you a quick little explanation now, which is basically that this is a three-dimensional field that we play on. All right, so there are three planes that we have pressure moving in. The first plane is up, down, right, which would be like mainly your rising pressure. Then we've got the side to side plane, which is like peg to peg, right? So that would be your side pressure. And then we've got back and forth, which is pad to pad pressure, which would be like your dragging pressure for the most part. And the way that they work together is it's kind of like rock, paper, scissors. So we find that if you're gonna rise, then the best answer is to go sideways. If they're gonna go sideways, the best answer is to go backwards. If they're gonna go backwards, the best answer is to go up. So we're gonna kind of show you how we use that in the setup to set up moves that we wanna do by loading in a certain direction so that our opponent loads with us, so we can then counter in a different direction, right?
100%. That's a lot of what arm wrestling is. It's like that fuckery that goes on in the setup where you're tricking your opponent, making them think they're gonna do something, and then you just surprise them on the go, and then you win. And that's what I do typically, because if you're facing somebody that's stronger than you, then you're gonna have to be tricky. You're gonna have to be fast. You're gonna have to make them not know what's coming.
And particularly with you, everybody knows that you're gonna press. Like they have seen you press. If they watch any of your videos, they know that when it comes to competition, you win 90% of your matches with a press, but you still set it up the same way and it still works every time.
Yeah, and there's those that 10% of times where I top roll, that maybe that is
something you're feeling in the setup that you know, or it's somebody you're going against who knows that trickery. So it's like that double trick, you know, where you're double faking them.
But it's still there, and they still think that it might be coming. So, but anyway, the point is that I'm setting up like I'm gonna top roll, and I'm focusing on rising and getting my opponent to fight that with me, and I'm pulling back as well. So I have that back pressure, and then on the go, it's
coming straight across,
supinating into my opponent while he's so focused on rise, he leaves that door open.
That lane wide open, yeah. And that's why, so as we said in the beginning of the video, this is going to be about loading and stuff. The load that Alex is doing there is he's really loading upwards, and as he said, he's still got all his other pressures engaged, so I'm not going to be able to push him sideways. I'm not necessarily going to pull him off center backwards, but where I feel like he's putting the majority of his pressure is up. So I can either match that with him or think of something else to do. If Alex feels me matching that with him, that's when he knows, okay, this is my move is set up and I'm gonna come straight across. If he feels me fucking around and doing something else, then that's when you might change and be like, okay, you wanna go to the side, I'm gonna go backwards then. Or you wanna go backwards, I'm gonna go, well, you go up anyway, right? So it'll be a top roll.
Yeah, but it's good to know all these different counters, so when you feel things in the setup, you can adjust and adapt. But like you said, it's not when I'm rising, it's not like I'm not applying side pressure or back pressure. All of those three are involved, but I'm putting more energy into that rise.
Yeah, exactly.
Up pressure.
And that's always going to happen unless you're going to own somebody with like a high hook where you're going to control all three of those or four factors on the table. Really, every other move is going to have a focus to one or the other of these fundamentals. There's going to be something that is getting more focused than another, right? So another setup, the one that I like to do a lot, is I like to crowd center and push to the side a bit and really fight for the center, getting my opponent to fight with me. And if I can get him to fight with me this way, then I know that I'm set up to come backwards and really drag on him as I leave that gap and he is filling it and kind of falling right into my trap there, right? That'll work really well in a king's move setting too. If I'm in a strap and I know this guy wants to blast to the side, I'll make him think that I'm gonna fight him in there, and then all of a sudden I'll leave that gap and hit outside and backwards, and the hitting back will just kind of pull him right into that trap, right? So it's again where you're loading in a certain direction to get them to go with you, and if he doesn't go with me, like if I'm loading to the side and somehow he gets the ref to not match that, and I can feel where he's going to go, then the same with Alex loading up, I'm going to change what it is I'm doing, you know, to kind of counter with that, right? So
right, and then the last one would be setting up with a ton of back pressure, dragging pressure, and obviously straight, but dragging pressure, and then on the go rising, right? Because they're leaving that gap open. They're putting all their eggs into pulling back, and then that top knuckle is open for me to take.
Yeah.
Right. And again, if he can feel that and he does something else, he doesn't match that pressure with me, then you got to be willing to adjust and adapt on the fly.
And you can still apply these pressures to those adjustments, right? And the more that we try to analyze these pressures and find holes in them, because that's like when you have a good idea, the best thing you can do with it is attack it and try to destroy it and try to prove it wrong. So we've been consistently trying to like come up with counters to these pressures, but so far they seem to be pretty legit. So again, just to go over them, because we feel like aside from the loading part of this video and the setup part, the real thing to take away is understanding how these pressures interact with each other. So again, with that dragging one, as Alex is getting me to drag with him, if I feel that drag and I go, okay, I know that pressure, I know, okay, he's gonna drag with me, I'm gonna start to rise on him. If he feels that in the setup, he might get ready. He might let that happen and let me think, hey, I've got that. Okay, I'm just gonna hit high, and as soon as I go to hit high, he smashes to the side and I end up in a hook, right? That's again how these, like, that chess match can happen so fast, and you can go back and forth so quick with your opponent. But analyze those pressures, watch them in other matches. You're gonna see them play out. You're gonna see really experienced pullers just do them instinctually. And the more you can learn them and they can become instinctual, the better you're gonna be at that game, right?
100%. So we hope you got some valuable information out of this video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe.
All those things.
And monkeys out.
Peace.